So, wow, I think yesterday was kind of surprising to me that seems like things are coming together.
Yes,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, I mean, how things are moving along, but in Taiwan recently, the term metaverse actually has become like a very popularized term. And due to
Yes.
no smart, Facebook changed its group name to Meta, right?
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, there actually was a new term invented in Chinese
Oh
to refer
wow.
to metaverse. It's a new term called 元宇宙, literally means the universe, something like that.
Oh wow.
Okay, but that's a new term, and I was just really puzzled. Like, what is this stuff? Like, I never heard of this. Like some kind of new techie thing, and I look up the English. Oh, metaverse, because my mom was asking, saying things about that. So I said that, did you know that your son has been doing this for the past 10, 20 years?
uh,
That was a fun moment. Like, like we were doing actually research on the backbone, how to build metaverse. And yeah. All right, Cheryl. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Yeah, I was just sharing with Herman, fun little story that my mom asked me what is metaverse in Chinese, because there's a new Chinese term that's just invented, like the last month, couple of months, about the
Okay.
metaverse called 元宇宙, and I was like puzzled, like what is this? Never heard of it. And after I checked the English, oh, metaverse. I told my mom, yeah, your son was working on this since like like in the last 20 years. I mean, what's like 20? Okay, so that was fun. Okay, but I mentioned it's just curious. I mean, like, has this been picked up like by the popular attention, the term, the concept in your place? Has it? I don't know, in South Africa.
well, people have been. I mean, people kind of know about the metaverse. I think that movie Ready Player One also helped a lot
Yes,
with.
popularized, right.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And people that have actually read Snow Crash might also be aware of the term metaverse.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
The general public,
think
I guess my question is the general public, because obviously for the, the computer science geeks, the sci-fi geeks, obviously it's well known. I'm asking, has this become like a popular culture thing?
so. I think I mean, people. It's not something I've generally heard people speaking about. I also think that the fact that Facebook has changed their name to Meta
Right?
might not be. I mean, the connotation might not be the best, right?
Okay. Right.
But simply because of Facebook's reputation, not necessarily
Right.
of
Okay.
the metaverse.
Okay.
I think people here when they think about metaverses, like, oh yeah, it's that VR, it's
That
that
VR
sci-fi
thing.
stuff, yeah.
Okay.
So so I think give it about a year's time, and I think people will probably speak more about it. I
Mhm.
think the other problem is I think people regard it as curiosity at the moment.
I see.
Um,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah. All right. Okay. Good. So yeah, is Victory coming up today?
I'm gonna send him a message. He's online.
Okay. Then if it's online, then probably. Okay.
Alida, I thought would be joining as well.
Okay. So, but wait, I think we can start. Uh,
So, Shao, I saw you pushed the code for the spatial mapping or the topic to
Uh,
spatial mapping.
yeah. I just put it with my sort of 80s benchmark thing that I built for the benchmark. But I actually watched yesterday's Vast thing before this meeting now. So I see that Amit came right with the MQTT stuff. I just, what, is he joining today? Because I actually have a
Uh,
few.
I think he's only joining on Thursday again, but he did push.
Okay.
He did push some code.
I just have a suggestion for him because I know that he's been like the whole identifying clients and only accepting messages for clients, you know, being able to accept who you can talk to. And I don't know if he's been looking into the MQTT topic levels. I know that in a lot of sort of mainstream MQTT applications, it's a common thing to have sort of a topic or a room, and then on another level, everybody has a unique identifier. So you can purposefully subscribe. So for instance, his whole thing is if I'm subscribed to I have to subscribe to my own channel so that I can actually receive messages that other people publish. But how do I know that it's my message or their message? Because as you saw, when he typed in a message, he received it twice. So if you have that unique identifier, you can subscribe to that specific topic so that you know, okay, if it's this topic, I know that it's from me. But if it's from anybody else, I know it's from. Yeah, he needs to look into those topic levels, and wildcards might also be useful for what he's doing.
Okay.
And then,
Okay, all right.
yeah, another general note that I want to actually just tell, you know, Victory and the interns is, so I know that Victory got stuck with the matcher and the global server or something. Like, if you get stuck, consult the documentation. You know, I put effort into actually writing down how to use it. It's there, just read.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think if people get stuck, they should also just send a message on Slack. I think
Yeah.
that will be fairly quick to be able to see, to get
Okay.
out at least. So let me just, so what you
feedback.
posted, Charles, is that you can now take a string and it will basically map it to an XY coordinate. So that's what the transform does.
Yes, I can quickly show you the code if you would want me to. It's not a lot of code.
Well, I mean, so I'm just so if the SPAT app basically has, if there's somewhere a database, right, with topic names and XY coordinates, it means that if that client app gets that data from the database, it would be able to translate the coordinates back into topics. So then it would know, then it would be able to display it on the right topic, if that makes sense.
Oh, so this doesn't inherently support that. In my mind, we were going to build a data like a map on the client side.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So in other words,
I don't have that data structure yet. I thought that Amit should. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm just verifying is that, let's say I go now and I choose 50 names. I can run them through this transform. I can generate 50 XY coordinates. Okay.
Yeah.
I then should be able, those XY coordinates represent the spatial location of the topics. I can use that via SPS to able to publish. And if people want to subscribe to those topics, then they basically just subscribe in a very small circular region around the XY coordinates, which they have because they just sent it to. Now, all the correct clients are receiving the right messages because the spatial routing is working correctly. But now they only have an XY coordinate. So in order to map, I mean, because now the client is showing different rooms with the different messages in the different rooms, for instance. So for the client can then just say, oh, but I know what the topic names are and what the XY coordinates are. So the app can basically then just go and say, okay, this XY coordinate, that's actually that topic. So I can just put it into the feed of that topic. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. I just wanted to make certain that that is, yeah, because I think that's really the only thing we still need. Well, okay, and Amit has to, the front end has to be able to handle, you know, he hard coded the MQTT topic just to make it, just to check that it's working. So he has just had to make it more general that it can basically do that type of thing. Yeah, but okay, it sounds like we're very, very close to actually having something which works, something which we can show. We're chatting, but it's actually being spatial routing, which is happening underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
I just realized something.
Mhm.
I was completely wrong to suggest that he might need to use different topic levels because the hash is going to break that.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So good. So I'm not sure. I think Victor is having some network issue. He's trying to
Yeah, I
connect.
sent him another message now.
He just got up.
And I also
So
sent a leader message.
oh, all right. There he is. So yeah. So Charles, just to
Yes.
clarify, so right now the translation that's done and it's been pushed. So it's something that people can use now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think I guess that's the update. We can check on. All right. So I think while Victor is connecting. And is that part Herman will be integrating to the MQTT server?
Hi everyone,
Is
can
that
you hear me?
is that something? Hi, Victory, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. So sorry about the
All
delay.
right.
My network is a bit bad because I was on the road.
Okay. Okay. Well. Okay. All right. So maybe I think maybe we should turn off the video then, just to reduce the load. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Victory, maybe we chatted a bit about current progress, but I think you can start. You can start a lead with the I guess the basic session. All right.
Sorry,
I
could
mean,
you repeat that?
are you able to do the lead to lead today's sync?
It's very difficult because right now I'm actually using my phone. Do we want to do it? Are we available today? The things I don't want to waste everyone's time.
Well,
Hello?
then maybe no worries. I'll do the lead. Okay, I can do the lead. So
Please, please.
how about if Victor, you can quickly update us what is going on? I mean, like what's the current update progress on your side? And
All right.
Debo, yeah.
Oh, okay. So on my side, well, what I was able to do yesterday, actually earlier this morning, was to try to simulate the nodes. I was able to create 25 nodes, actually 50 nodes, with 25 publishing and 25 subscribing. I think that at the moment, the current bottleneck I'm currently struggling with, well, it's not really a struggle, I just need to do more work, is to actually track those requests as they're coming, because at the moment it's happening, but it's not logging properly. Thank you.
Okay. Can you describe a bit about so what kind of issues are you facing?
Basically it's the login thing. I know at the moment it's currently logging, but I can't, when you publish, right? For example, I'm not sure if it's working properly or if I'm the one not running it properly, but I'm not getting like this real-time response. So if it's, for example, when you send like a ping request, in theory, the subscriber should see the ping as it came in. But it's not doing that. It only does that at the first iteration when you run it for the first time. And I'm not sure, it could be the code that I'm running wrong. Maybe I'm not publishing properly, or maybe I'm supposed to create a delay. I've not really created the delay part yet. But the big part, and I did log it onto the, well, not log, I sort of pushed the code already to Vast. But I think I need to work on it more. It's not necessarily like a problem, because I know it's currently logging. But when I send a message, for example, like a request, the request sent, that's confirmed. But when I say send it again, I can't see that it's actually sending. So it could be sending and it's not logging properly, or it's not sending at all, which is what I've not determined yet. But overall, the code has been optimized such that it can make publish requests, it can make subscribe requests, and it can make unsubscribe requests. I do have a session with Debo today. I think around 6 o'clock today again. And basically, I want to follow up on his progress with regards to the CSV tracking. Because when I tried to run the tracking as well today, the CSV part, it only did for like, it only logged one request. It didn't log all the requests that were made. So I think a big chunk of the challenge so far is at the login side. But I am working on that, and I think if I struggle, I would probably just give Charlie a call. I hope you don't mind, Charlie. Because I noticed in your code, it's what do you call it? There's like a text logger function in the matcher file, I think, of the client file, and I might have to resort to that in the future. But if I do struggle with the CSV part, I'll just reach out to Charles to just go old school, text file.
Okay.
All right. Is there any feedback from Shao?
I think I need to actually look at the code in order for me to I'm not
Okay,
entirely sure if I'm understanding the problem properly, so I need to look at the code.
Okay. Victor, just to clarify, right now the 25 clients you initiated, they are all using, the actual physical network layer with,
No.
or it's simulate.
Well, I'm basically using the local host, something similar to what Charles did with the simulation. But
Okay,
maybe
okay.
I don't know if you look at it, Charles. Just see if you just run it off. You don't have to like edit or anything. Just run, and then see if it's doing what it's supposed to do. If you don't mind, I already pushed it to GitHub, the dev CFM test channel.
Which file am I looking at?
No, the test_client.js.
Test client. Okay.
Test underscore client.js. So I don't know if you're looking at it now.
I'm looking at the yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, all right. So thanks. So that's all the big update from Victory so far. Hello?
Sounds like it.
Okay, all right. So any updates, Thurman? Would you like to, I guess, is there any updates on your side?
So I'm gonna take what Charles. I haven't done anything since yesterday, but I'm gonna take what Charles has, and I saw that Amit has pushed his the front end code and the description of how to actually get it up and running, and then I'm gonna integrate what Charles has done with Amit's code, and then basically do a test run of the SPAT app to see if we can use the spatial routing via the MQTT broker to see if we can actually just have a test setup where it sends the message. And if that's working, then the only thing, then basically we just need to, Amit just needs to finish that part of the front end, and then we should have a system that we can basically demonstrate to people or show to people that it's working. Or, yeah.
Okay, nice. So you're saying that just the next step would be to basically test out, I guess it's the channel name to coordinates mapping.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Because
that's working.
Because I know that the subscribing and publishing via MQTT, that's working correctly, as far as I can tell. And if the spatial transform is working correctly, then it's just the rest is then basically just subscribing to the right topics and, basically processing the received messages and displaying it to the user, which is, so I think that's basically integrating everything, and testing is the last step that's remaining, in my opinion.
Okay. And this is all done within the modified MQTT. That's correct?
That's right, yeah. Well,
Okay.
the modified MQTT basically pulls in the vast matcher. That's basically what it does.
Right. It talks to the vast matcher to do the actual message
Yes,
communication, right?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
And I have
So,
actually tested that with multiple MQTT or multiple modified MQTT matchers. So I know that's also working correctly. It's not just a single matcher which works. I have multiple MQTT of these modified MQTT brokers and matchers, and then the routing works correctly, which is also quite nice that it works.
oh, okay. When you talk about multiple MQTTs, so you're saying each MQTT server is, I suppose?
Yes, yeah. So I did a test the other day where there was like 3 MQTT brokers, each with its own port, and then all 3 of them had their own associated matcher, and these matchers basically joined a VON network, yeah.
Okay.
And then basically you could publish and subscribe to spatial areas, and then it would do the routing correctly, and you would get the right messages. So that.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually a neat way to sort of chain together a bunch of MQTT servers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
If
you
you
couldn't do it like
kind
that,
of you can scale up the kind of MQTT deployment, right?
Yeah.
With literally using spatial coordinates as a way
Yeah.
to distribute the workload, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat. That's neat. That's actually quite neat.
The only catch that I thought is that the actual clients, they just use the MQTT port number to connect to a specific MQTT broker. I mean, so you could literally have. I mean, okay. So let me put it like that. If you have different host machines, they would all use the same MQTT port, right? It's 1883, I believe.
Right.
And then you could probably have a load balancer in front of that basically redirects the clients to make certain that the normal type of horizontal scaling that's done in a
load balancer
system. Yeah. And then if you wanted the system, the spatial system to actually do the load balancing, then you would need the clients to, well, you would need the brokers to actually be able to migrate clients between each other. So you would need to require some kind of a mechanism to do that. But I mean, I was just happy already when I could start multiple modified MQTT brokers, and it worked. That was very nice to see. Yeah.
That's nice. Actually, I think a simple kind of load balancing already occurs if you are able to map the channel name somewhat evenly onto some kind of spatial space. Okay, so that's actually what Shell's, the part that Shell's doing, which is the mapping mechanism, right? If you are able to actually to basically map things on a more or less, I guess, randomized, kind of approach, then that in itself actually helps to distribute workload.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, you see? And I think there has been work. I mean, okay, sorry, this is getting a bit theoretical, but I think that's what some of the early DHT works that were being done that tries to basically have a hash function that would allow workload to be, distributed more evenly. Okay, I mean, I know that was done to a one-dimensional space, like a ring. Okay, but I'm pretty sure there has been work done for two-dimensional space as well. that's basically it's. I think it's called consistent hashing. I mean
Okay, cool.
yeah, I mean the general work. Okay, all right. So I guess one important thing that's suitable to discuss with at this occasion is how are we going to verify the scaling properties, um, of the current implementation, and I mean with the prototype, about to out to get out. What are some ideas about, I guess, how we can actually verify things on scale, right?
So one, okay, so Shaul, as part of his final year project, he basically compared this, what he implemented to this AEDES MQTT broker. So we could, I mean, one thing we could do is we could run an experiment where we basically have the pure MQTT version and then basically just have many clients publishing on its topic and see how that, and basically show this is how many clients it can handle or so many publications per second or something like that.
Right.
And then what we can do is we could have the same setup. In other words, it's the same number of clients connecting, the same number of average topics, that type of thing. And then we can just replace that with the, with the spatial routing
Okay, the
aspect.
spatial version, right?
Yeah.
The distributed version. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then we can
okay.
see, I mean, he's done some preliminary experiments where he's shown that as you add the number of clients and as you increase the number of matchers, that the VON traffic stays constant. So you can think about it like there's a basic cost because the VON matchers need to communicate with each other, but that stays constant. So as you add more matchers, which makes sense because on average you have 6 neighbors. If you've got that, if you follow that Voronoi theory, that on average you have
Right,
6
right.
neighbors in a Voronoi
That's right.
diagram. So that, he's done an experiment where he basically shows that yes, there is a constant, and then the average traffic per, I mean, if you keep the number of clients constant, but you increase the number of matchers, then you can see that the average traffic per matcher basically decreases as you add matchers, which is also a nice result.
I see. Okay. So basically this is showing the scaling properties, right? Of the
Yes.
overall system. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So okay, so Shao, I mean, also curious, what's in your view, like the thing that's of importance now, given what we like to do in terms of getting the prototype and also to verify through simulation at scale.
I think obviously the most important thing that needs to get done now is to actually just verify that the link between SPAT and Professor Herman's MQTT matcher pair works. I think in terms of, as you mentioned, the subscriptions, by mapping these subscriptions to this virtual environment, and theoretically they'll be quite evenly distributed, that should theoretically improve scale. Just one potential issue that I see that we should fix, this is obviously not what I had in mind when I built this thing. So in the current implementation of VAST, if you as a matcher have a client who's subscribed to a topic far away, so it's beyond your region of authority, you will obviously, you keep a record of that subscription, but you forward that subscription to all, the matchers whose region of authority that lies in. Obviously, get a copy of that subscription so that they can match it. And then they send whenever it's matched, they forward that publication to you as the matcher whose client it is. But currently, what VAST does is every forwarded publication that it gets from other matchers, it verifies it before it publishes it to clients. So what this means is that, you know, if every client is sort of if a client is subscribed far away, the publication needs to basically be matched twice. And that obviously, I don't know what implications that has for scalability in the way that we're using it, but I don't think it will be great. So we need to look at how we can improve that, because obviously if the subscription matching is done once, maybe there's a faster way to verify that it's a correct subscription than to just reprocess the whole publication. Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this.
All right,
but,
it's fine. But let me just ask, are they at the same host or different hosts? The processing.
It doesn't matter. Like they could be on different hosts.
Okay, I see. Okay, all right.
So Charles, one thing I was thinking is that I think one thing that I think would be useful is if some kind of this documentation of the routing in the VAST on GitHub itself, or or a PDF or something like that, which just basically explains, looks at a couple of use cases to say, here is a typical matcher setup. Here's a couple of matchers. Here is the subscriber. Here is a publisher, and then explains, okay, this is how the routing would work. I think that could be, documenting something like that, I think could be useful.
Okay.
At least for the current setup, with lots of pictures.
Okay, all right. So Victory is back, I think. so I think, okay, so Victory is showing some screen. All right, so I guess Victory, maybe just quickly, what is the next step that you plan to do here? And anything you might need help on? Hello, Victory?
I think you're muted, or your audio doesn't work, Victory.
We can see the screen, but it's not. Your voice doesn't come out. Okay, all right. So,
So I'm gonna so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and integrate what Amit has done and what Charles has done, and see if we can get a working demo system for tomorrow.
Okay. And okay, so I think that's, and for Victory here, if you can still hear, I think try to get some help. Sean was saying that can ask on Slack or look at the documentation, okay? And if there's some stuck, just quickly ask for help. If that's, but you might need to have an understanding of what you're trying to do, okay? So that's something I suggest. So Victory, can you? All right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
no,
I think it's
fine.
I think it's about time, but thanks for sharing, the screen. Okay. So, I mean, do you like to quickly mention what's the issue now?
So, I mean, if you look at this, for example, right, this is, the nodes, it's obvious that the matcher is receiving what's supposed to receive. But now, if you look at this is like a subscribe thing. If I was to publish a new message, I don't think this node gets it. For example, if I was to publish a message to this AOI, I should receive some form of, or at least I'm assuming I should get a new, what do you call it? Like a new JSON entry as to, okay, this is, you just received this, you just received that. But I don't think it's doing that, or maybe I'm not doing it right. So that's, I still want to investigate that problem very well to be sure that it's not me that I'm running it wrongly. But the idea was to create clients, for like 5 different, what's this thing called now? If you look at this, there's like clients were generated through this thing where there was like a range that the number range should not, for one quadrant, basically the quadrants are here. If you notice here, the AOIs don't exceed 25. I think I need to confirm that. Yeah. But basically, I created this thing such that all of this are in one zone of a quadrant and all of the subscribers are in another zone. And it's like these nodes are subscribing to messages published from these nodes. And basically to start everything automatically and see how it works. And the hope was, if I was to run a random publish request for these nodes to automatically receive those messages. But I don't think they are doing that. Or maybe they are, I'm not sure. I need to confirm that. Let me confirm that.
Okay.
But I don't
Victory.
think- yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Victory. Can you just quickly go back to your start clients, the batch file?
Yeah.
Why are you creating your publishers before you're creating your subscribers? Are they only publishing one message? Because then of course they're not going to receive anything.
So that's one. So when you run this for the first time, that's fine. That works properly in terms of publishing. But if I was to, after running this, there are times where I just run a new publish request. When I run a new publish request, let me say, okay, let me run this again. In theory, I should get, sorry, hold that.
All right. So, okay. So I think, Shao, are you able to help Victory to, I guess, look at this a bit more?
I kind of need to get going now because I have a plane
Okay,
to
okay.
catch.
All right, okay.
But
So,
I'll have a look at the code at the airport. But unfortunately, this week I won't be able to do too much coding.
right,
But
okay.
like Victory, you can send me messages on Slack and I'll try and have a look and see if I can help you get unstuck. But I do
All right.
need to
Okay.
get going.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
So
sorry.
that's,
No
so,
worries.
yeah,
Fine.
so
No worries.
Victory, yeah, so please just, okay, continue on the debugging.
I will,
And, okay,
yeah, I
send
will
some,
send a message.
You-
Sorry.
you can share your situation, all right, on Slack,
Yeah.
all right?
I will,
Okay.
share. No, it's not working.
All
for
right,
some reason.
so thanks, Al, and that's, we'll sync again tomorrow, all right?
Yes.
At the same time, okay? So thanks,
Cool.
thanks,
Thanks.
Al,
Thank you.
and
Watch the
Margaret,
Bye.
and Victory. Yeah, yeah, and have a safe flight. Okay. for
Thank
now.
you.
All right, take care. Yeah,
Okay.
bye-bye, yeah, bye.
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 Bye.